telling what I just may do. I've been vibing, minding my business. Throw one up if you can relate to. Said if I ain't got it, I make do. Can't be stuck waiting on a breakthrough. And I don't need everybody praying for me. Ain't no telling who you niggas pray to.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of D's Corner. We are jumping into the NFC off-season grades. We have the NFC East. NFC East, we will see how everything went. We got the Cowboys who said they're all in. We have the Commanders who are rebuilding. We have the Eagles who are retooling, and man, did they retool. And then you have the Giants. We'll see what the Giants are going to do. They still need a quarterback. Daniel Jones, Drew Lock. You'll see how that thing goes there. But before we get into the video, guys, please do me a favor. Like, share, subscribe. Also, don't forget to check me out on the Double D's Let's Talk About It podcast. Also, check out the Renegade Rundown podcast. We were also on there the Sunday before Memorial Day. So, guys, man, just check us out. Everywhere you see us, like, share, subscribe. We truly appreciate it. So, we're going to jump into the offseason grades for the NFC East. First up, we got the New York Giants. When you look at their notable additions, Devin Singletary to replace Saquon Barkley. I talked about Drew Lock. We'll see if he's coming in and if he's going to be able to compete with Daniel Jones or not. Now, I do like the pickup of Brian Burns. Defensively, this team should be able to get after the quarterback. They were, when you have Thibodeau now with Burns, you do have two solid young pass rushers. Dexter Lawrence up the middle, being able to claw the run. Like the pickups of Tyler Nubin and Andrew Phillips should help that young secondary continue to grow. Love the pickup of Malik Neighbors. How much will he be able to do with the quarterbacks that we've talked about? Theo Johnson is a player who should be able to come in and possibly replace a maybe retiring Darren Waller. So we'll see how all that goes. You see the grade. I give the Giants a C. I'm just not sure what this team can really do. Brian Daboll is a good coach. How good of a coach is he with you lost your main offensive weapon in Saquon Barkley? Not only did you lose him, you lost him to a division rival. Then you replaced, I guess, him with Malik Neighbors, who's a rookie, who should be your focal point, but he is a player who comes off as most wide receivers, that he'll wear his emotions on his sleeve. I don't think that the quarterback can consistently get him the ball, so that will probably be frustrating for him, especially his rookie year. Coming in and just adjusting to the NFL, and he doesn't have a quarterback who can really elevate his play. We'll see if they're able to scheme him open and scheme the ball to him. I just don't know it. I really just don't see it. I think this team is going to finish last in the division. This team has the worst quarterback in the division. Overall, probably the worst roster in the division. This is the only team that I've ever seen add to the offensive line. The offensive line seems to regress. So that is weird to me. I don't believe Devin Singletary will be able to run the ball. Saquon Barkley had issues running the ball. And in my opinion, he's a way more talented back than Devin Singletary. So next up, we have the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys, I also give them a C. For them to go all in for the offseason, I really probably could have given them a D or even an F. Their notable additions were Eric Kendricks, Ezekiel Elliott, Royce Freeman. Lose Tony Pollard, you're replacing them with Ezekiel Elliott and Royce Freeman. I don't see how that's going to translate. Now you have a lot of projects. Tyler Guyton was mainly a right tackle who's going to come over and you have him lined up at left tackle. We'll see how that's able to go as far as pass blocking and all that. Marshawn Nealon will have to adjust to the speed of the game. I do like the pickup of Cooper Beebe, so we'll see how that's able to go. I like the pickup of Kalen Carson as well. But this team had a lot more holes than people wanted to give them credit for. This team is not better on paper this year than they were last year. And then you factor in the other issues they have, the Dak Prescott contract, the CeeDee Lamb contract, the Michael Parsons contract. Where are we going to go from here? Not to mention, and I talked about this on the Double D's podcast, you lost Dan Quinn. 2 years ago, Diggs led the league in interceptions. He also led the league in yards given up. DeRon Bland, Diggs goes down, he leads the league in interceptions last year, but he's also susceptible to being beat. How much of that was the player? How much of it was the scheme? We'll get ready to find out now, because if they're going to play more man coverage than zone coverage, we'll see, because both players are susceptible to double moves. If you watch their play in depth, they are able to get beat, and that's going to be tough, because this team's defensively is stacked for Dan Quinn's scheme. You're bringing in Mike Zimmer, who runs a completely different scheme. So we'll see how that all translates. So like I said, I gave them a C, but now the more I'm talking about it, that C feels a bit generous. I don't see the Cowboys, and they have a tough schedule too. Watch out for the schedule videos that I do have coming up. I'm probably just going to break down each individual team. But I don't think that the Cowboys can even be a playoff team, to be honest with you. Next up, we have the Washington Commanders. I give the Commanders a B. The Commanders are coming in, bringing in Dan Quinn, who's going to immediately bring in attitude when you look at defensively. When you look at some of the players that they brought in, Jazon Newton is a player who maybe could make Jared Allen expendable. Could you trade him and get some more draft capital for next year to build around your young quarterback? This team already had some pretty solid weapons. They lost Curtis Samuel, but you still have Terry McLaurin as well as Jahan Dotson. You brought in Ben Sinnott to play tight end, who could possibly come in and start. Also, they brought in Luke McCaffrey, Christian's little brother, Zach Ertz, Austin Eckler on the offensive side. So now you have even more veteran leadership. Zach Ertz has won a Super Bowl with Philly, so he knows this division. You have Austin Eckler, who is a touchdown machine, someone you can dump the ball off out of the backfield, as well as give multiple carries to a game. I like the pickup of Jeremy Chin and Bobby Wagner. These are players who should come in. Jeremy Chin has the ability, size, speed, strength. When he came into the league to Carolina, he played well. He did regress a bit, but we'll see how effective he is in Dan Quinn's scheme. But he has the ability to play in a Cam Chancellor style. Bobby Wagner should come in and definitely, he's a veteran presence. He's going to make a ton of tackles, but he's definitely going to make the right calls and keep the defense in games. Forbes from last year is a player who we should probably see a big jump from him. This is a player, when he was in college, had a ton of interceptions, a ton of pick sixes, so I could definitely see that. He's extremely fast. Jaden Daniels is going to be the key here. Obviously, he's the quarterback. He's coming in. He's more mature. He can make every throw, and he is dynamic. Now, did they do enough to protect him? We will see. But with the players around him, I really like what he has around him now. Don't like what he has blocking for him, so that could definitely be an issue, especially for a guy with a slender build like him. So we'll see how that really goes. But overall, I like what the Commanders have done. Dan Quinn's going to bring an attitude to this defense, and we could definitely see this team possibly jumping the Cowboys. Maybe not in year one, but definitely by year two, because the Cowboys are going to be a completely different looking team. And finally, we have the Philadelphia Eagles. I had to give Philly an A+. When you look at everything on paper that this team has, yes, this team struggled down. They imploded. I don't know what happened. I'm not sure if Jalen Hurts was injured or what the case may be. But when you look at the players that they brought in, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, he is a safety nickel. He's an attitude. He's going to bring an attitude. Devin White, playing on a one-year deal, who is a former Super Bowl champ, a former All-Pro linebacker. He is a player with talent, size, speed, old-school style linebacker. And he's going to fit Vic Fangio's scheme. He is going to blitz. He is going to get after the quarterbacks. This team defensively should be tough. Bryce Huff coming off the edge with Nolan Smith, Josh Sweat, as well as Devin White in the middle. This could definitely make Jacoby Dean this could possibly make him expendable. See how that goes. When you look at the draft, Quinion Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, Jalen Hunt is another player who could help that pass rush. But Mitchell and DeJean are players who should be able to come in and contribute immediately. I wouldn't be shocked if James Bradberry was released or traded before the season. When you look at the players that they have, Johnny Wilson is a player out of Florida State to also keep an eye on, because he is coming in 6'6", 6'7", wide receiver, 230, 240 pounds, ran a 4.5. He's able to sink his hips. Jalen Hurts has so much around him that he should have to do very little. And then I didn't even mention Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley's coming in, possibly playing behind the best offensive line that he's ever played with since being in the NFL. He's playing with the best quarterback he's played with it since being in the NFL, along with the best supporting cast that he's ever played with. So I think a lot of people are trying to downplay Saquon for what he did with the Giants, but he's never had a team this stacked to play with, this stacked to play against. And to me, that says a lot about the player Saquon truly is. He's going to come in, he's going to work, he's going to compete. Him and Jalen Hurts, you got two 600-pound squatters right there. That tush push is going to be even crazier this year. You did lose Fletcher Cox, you did lose Jason Kelsey, but you also have their replacements already on the roster. So it's not really a big deal, because these guys have already been being groomed. These guys have already been playing. They understand the defense, or they understand the culture of the team. Kellen Moore is now going to be running the offense. When he was with the Cowboys, they had top offenses. I could see Philly being one of those top offenses, because you don't have really where is a weakness on this roster offensively. They have a solid offensive line. They re-signed all their guys. You re-signed Devontae Smith. You re-signed A.J. Brown. You brought in Saquon Barkley. All of your players are happy. Dallas Goedert is coming back healthy. If something happens to Dallas Goedert, you still have Johnny Wilson, who you can play as a move tight end. They have so much that they can do. They draft well. They always make and swing for a trade. But I love the pickup of Saquon. Going and getting a division rival's best player, weakening them while adding to your team and making it even stronger is a freaking phenomenal play. Philly should definitely win this division almost easily. They do have a tough schedule, but within the division, I think this is hands down the best roster, the best team, period. Again, guys, that's it for the video for the NFC East offseason grades, man. Please, please, please like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate it. You guys have a good one.
Okay, now. I'm the top dog in the league, homie. Yeah. Let's speak on it. It's a stretch for anybody to reach on me. Just breathe on it, don't tell them. They gotta know it's me on it. Won't kick it on me and go for 3 on you. You couldn't guard me with the cleanest armor. I got it covered, these corners. I'm the top dog in the league, homie. Let's speak on it. It's a stretch for anybody to reach on me. Just breathe on it, don't tell them. They gotta know it's me on it. We don't kick it on in, go for 3 on you. You couldn't guard me with the cleanest armor. I got it covered, these corners, like, yeah.